What's up, YouTube? Robbie Vapes back again, and today we're checking out the DotMod Petri RDA, so stay tuned. That is right, today we are checking out the DotMod Petri RDA. I cannot wait to show this thing off. I have the DotMod itself, or the RDA itself, plus I also have the drip tip, which was both sold separately. I don't know how it's sold everywhere else, I just know from where I bought it. It is an authentic one, so we're looking at the authentic here. I haven't seen the clone yet, so I don't know how to compare the two. I usually like to try and do a comparison. Is the authentic really worth that much more than the clone? That one I cannot answer today, unfortunately, but I will, if I can get my hands on a clone, let you guys know how they compare. Because this is not a cheap RDA. This is probably one of the most expensive RDAs I have in my collection right now, and it was not cheap, especially the fact that you have to buy the drip tip separately. Anyways, guys, so that's what we're going to do today. What do you say we get down and dirty with the Petri RDA by DotMod and check out what it looks like up close? Alright guys, we are down and dirty with the Petri RDA by DotMod. Here it is up here, close. As you can see here, this is actually bought at Digital Imports here in Calgary. Here's the RDA itself. What you get the RDA, and you get the little spare O-rings, and then some like little grass shit down there or something. I don't know, fucking know. Anyways, guys, you get that in there. Here's the RDA itself, but of course, sold separately is the DotMod drip tip. Here it is in here. Comes in a nice little cork packaging as well. 30 bucks for this alone. That being said, I am actually in love with this drip tip. It gets used on all my devices right now. Something about it is just really nice for me. It's working right now. Super wide bore. Love it. But again, it is sold separately, which is a little bit disappointing. Going back to the RDA itself, here at the bottom you have your bottom connection pin, which is gold plated. If you can see that, let's see if we can get it to focus there. There we go, there's all the goodies down there. There's my number, 9277, Petri, DotMod, and let's just see if we can zoom in there. It's all down there. This is the V1.5 apparently, so we can see there. And apart from that, let's dig into this thing. Let's put it back on a mod just so we can get into it. And I'll show you the post design here, which is actually quite interesting. It's a very nice design. I'm actually a big fan of the design of this, and I guess before we do that, there are the air holes right there. There's one, there's two. There is no option to run this into single coil mode, so just for people who are single coil builders, just be aware, there is only the option to run it in dual coil mode. That being said, there's so little airflow in this because it's got that nice tight draw for flavor that realistically, if you did do a single coil build, it should still work the same. Personally, I don't do single coil builds, so I can't 100% guarantee that. But again, those air holes are definitely something that that you'll want to keep in mind. Moving on from there, you have these nice little thumb screws. Very simple to tighten and take on and off. Just down like that. You can see inside there, you actually have two post holes per post. One on the left, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right. You can see them kind of just right back there. Just in there. Anyways, tightens down really nicely. The screws that they're using, they're thumb screws, and they're also flat bottomed, if you can see that. Nice flat bottom so it doesn't snap your wire. I do like that as well. That is actually a really good feature. Moving on from there, let's just tighten these down a little bit and check out the deck itself. The deck itself does have an insulator built into there, as you can see down there. Hopefully you can see that if I can get it to focus. Right down there, nice little insulated deck well. You have the gold plating all around here as well. It actually is looking like a really nice high-end RDA here. The gold is really a nice touch to it. The two O-rings are super secure, so you never have to worry about it slipping out in place. Like I said, super secure. Not too bad. Putting it all together though, what does it look like? There you go. Now these do come in different colors. I chose the black RDA with the silver drip tip. I chose the silver drip tip actually mainly because that was the original thing I wanted to buy. I did want a new drip tip, and silver tends to go with almost all of my other tanks and RDAs, so I decided to go with silver. Then went back and got the black RDA itself. Within like a couple hours, I couldn't help myself. I saw it and I said, you know what, I want to have this. And I went and got it. Was it worth it? Well, stay tuned for the end and I'll tell you my thoughts on that. Overall design is really nice, really clean, super simple. You got that matte black finish on here. The top cap of this, of course, is very easy as well. And it's also very secure. If you can see that, I believe this actually has two O-rings as well on the top. see if we can see that here. Let's just, oh, as I drop it. It is a nice snug fit in there, so you don't have to worry about spilling anything. And again, hopefully you can kind of see that. The O-ring there fits snug. It is really nice. And of course, with that wide bore drip tip, it makes dripping down the middle of that thing a breeze. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much the RDA itself. It's a really simple design, two-post design. You have your positive and your negative. I actually am not sure which one is positive and which one is negative. It's a little bit harder to tell on this thing because it's not actually showing a lead to anything, which is actually pretty clean. And I do like the clean-looking element of this RDA. Also, I guess, apart from that, I think that pretty much covers it. So what do you say? This was actually pretty short, down and dirty. So what do you say we go back up top, talk about the pros, talk about the cons, and ultimately talk about whether or not I recommend this to just anyone, or if there's a certain person I recommend it to, and or a certain vaping style, and we'll take it from there. So I will see you guys back up top. Alright guys, we're back up top with the Petri RDA by DotMod. Let's talk about the overall opinion on this now. We've had a chance to look at it up close, and pretty much what it comes down to, honestly, is the price tag. Let's talk about that first and foremost because it is the most important part of this whole entire RDA. The price tag on the RDA itself, keep in mind that is not with the drip tip, that is not with any screws or any kind of screwdrivers or anything like that, or extra screws. Basically, you get a couple extra O-rings, some fucking fluff in the bottom down there, if you can see that, and that's it. For $130, that's what I paid for a Canadian. That is a very expensive RDA, guys. And again, you don't get a drip tip with it, you don't get any sort of extra accessories or screws or anything, you get some O-rings, and that is it. So for $130 for this RDA, just keep that in mind before you get to the pros and cons of this. That could be the decision maker right there. That is a lot of money for us to fork out, especially around the holiday season, of course. There's other things we can be spending our money on, but again, just keep that in mind. So pros and cons, guys. Let's talk about the pros first. First of all, I love the finishing on this. The gold plating everywhere is beautiful. It honestly does look like a high-end RDA, and I have to give it credit for that. Secondly, of course, those thumb screws on there are great. They're easy to put on, easy to take off, super easy. You don't strip them. I haven't stripped them yet. And honestly, overall, the actual post design, those are pretty big holes. I mean, right now I actually have some stagger fuse clampins in there, and they are fitting no problem. So the post holes are a pretty decent size. Are you going to get every build you want in there? No, but you're going to get a lot of the good builds that you want, and some of the more advanced ones as well. So it does have that capability, which is a huge pro. Moving on from there, the airflow, of course, is my favorite part of this whole RDA. That's, of course, being because with that tight draw you get, it is a much more flavorful vape. Now, a lot of people say there's no such thing as a flavor chaser. That's garbage. But honestly, until you've tried this device, this is a flavor chaser, guys. This is definitely one. You're going to be chasing that flavor. You're going to be loving it. It's going to give you a much stronger flavor than the average RDA, depending on what build you put, of course. But for the most part, just having that tight draw does add a lot to the flavor. Moving on from there, let's talk about the cons. The overall cons, of course, honestly, guys, it doesn't come with a drip tip. That is a big con in my books. The $30 extra for a drip tip is a major con. On top of that, all the accessories like the competition top cap or whatever they have as well coming out is extra cost as well. So there you go. More money out of your pocket, as if $130 wasn't enough from you. Now they want to charge you $30 for a drip tip, plus more for a competition cap, plus. I mean, it just starts adding up. Honestly, guys, the price tag, the lack of features, the lack of accessories, and the overall lack of value out of this is what really brings it down for me. Don't get me wrong, I love this RDA, and if you have one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is not an RDA that everybody's going to go out and get, because not everybody can afford this style of RDA. This is a very, very expensive RDA, and honestly, it's not as high-end as the price tag suggests. Personally, what would I pay for this out of my own pocket if I went out and lost this and had to get a new one? I honestly wouldn't pay more than $60 or $70 for this device, and if you can get it for that price, I think it's worth it. If not, though, and you're stuck in that $100 plus range, whether you're in US or Canada, I think that's way overkill on this device. I think it's not worth the value, and honestly, overall opinions on this, it's just, it doesn't measure up to the price tag. My expectations were blown away. It's a great RDA. I love it, don't get me wrong, but again, it doesn't live up to that price tag. So, with that being said, guys, overall, if I lost this, would I go out and get this again? And I'm going to answer that in two ways, because there are two parts to this. If I lost the RDA, would I go out and pay $130 to get another one? Absolutely not. There is not a chance in hell I would pay that again. If they come out with a V2, I'm not buying the V2. This is literally the last mod the last RDA I'll probably buy from DotMod for a while. Potentially for even longer than that, okay? However, the second part of that is if I lost that drip tip, $30 for a drip tip. I know you guys gave me flack in a previous video when I introduced the Third Eye and the Otis drip tip for $30 each. This is the same price as those. If I lost it, would I go out and get another one? Hell yes I would. I love the drip tip. The drip tip is my favorite part of this entire thing. I use it on my TFE4, I use it on my Crown Tank, I use it on pretty much every mod I own because it's that good of a drip tip. I don't know what it is about it, but it just feels clean, it feels good, it's got that nice big bore in it, and yet it also fits in all 510 connections, which is great. So, overall opinions, there you have it. Would I go out and buy the mod or the RDA again? No, I wouldn't. Would I go out and get the drip tip again? Yes, I would. I love the drip tip, great drip tip, something about it just is hitting the right place for me, so there you go guys. Overall thoughts and opinions, there it is. What do you say we end the video now and vape it out? By the way, I'm vaping this thing at, let's see here, is that 129 watts? As you can, hopefully you can see that. 129 watts on this thing, so I do like a very hot, dense vape, and that is why I'm pushing it so high on this. It's just a great flavor overall, and heating it up is very nice as well. In fact, I'm going to drip a little bit on here. And yeah, I mean, like I said, overall opinion, it's not a bad RDA. And am I disappointed in buying it? No, I'm not. But at the same time, I do think for the average consumer, it is not for them. It's just way too expensive, and you really don't get enough features out of it to justify that price tag. So, with that being said, guys, as always, happy vaping, YouTube.